J&J Photo Art Marketing Cafe's newest video clip. We have a great webinar going for you today. It's the art that sells, the business side of building a profitable photography business, presented by Photo Art Pavilion. My name is Jessica Lempin. I'm one of the founders of Photo Art Pavilion. With me today, I do have Joanne Hennig. She is my business partner. She's right there if you could see her. She will jump in a little bit later on after I run through everything, and she'll be able to give us a different perspective of what I go over with you today. So I have a lot to do to dig in with you, so let's get to it. So in today's discussion, I have three major topics. I have choosing marketable images. I have SEO for your art, which is a huge chunk of time, and the nitty gritty, some little elements to help you with your art business. So number one, choosing marketable images, fine art images. So I know this is a hard topic because as art photographers, we are so gravitated to that moment in time when we snap that shutter and record the light, the space, the subjects, and so on that you gravitated to. But now, how do you take that emotion out of it? How do you determine if that is a sellable piece? So here are some questions to ask yourself. Would I hang this on my own wall and live with it every day? Now, some of us, yes, some of other people may not, because they weren't there in that moment. In that moment of time, there are certain elements as us photographers we gravitate to. So asking this question helps you shift from a photographer's perspective to a buyer's one. If the image has a lasting appeal, emotional depth, and visual harmony, it likely has potential as wall art, right? Something that somebody's going to invest their hard-earned money in and have it on their walls for them to look at day in and day out, for their guests to come in, or even if it's in a business, for their people to come in and appreciate the art. That's a lot to focus on as a artist who's looking to sell their work. So does this photo evoke a feeling, mood, or atmosphere, right? So what is it about this image that someone can gravitate to, that they can kind of jump in that moment of time with you? So art buyers are drawn to the emotion and ambience, not documentation, right? So yes, you travel, we see these beautiful locations, and we want to record that moment in time. But what makes it special? What makes it stand out and be something that somebody is going to purchase to share on their walls, right? What is that lighting? What is that magic moment of time? What did you do creatively to make it stand out? So some of these other questions that you can ask: does it feel peaceful, bold, dreamy, mysterious, right? Like, what are those elements that somebody will want to invest in? Will someone connect with it beyond the subject matter? That's a hard question, right? So as photographers, there's different elements that we see, that we stop. We want to take that photo and share with the world. But what is it that somebody will go beyond and be basically in that moment with you? So is the composition clean, intentional, and visually balanced? Buyers often favor images with strong design principles. So some of these would be a clear focal point, a good use of negative space, harmonious colors or tones, and not overly busy or cluttered. So sometimes if you have a very busy color image, try it in black and white. You might be able to see a different side of that piece that you wouldn't normally gravitate to, but in a black and white, it's going to quiet it down so that it is something that could be marketable. So I have a little demonstration here. Which one would you invest your money in, right? This is a simple question, but we all kind of gravitate to these different images in different ways. So let me run down these images. Let's see and show you the different uses for these types of images, right? So there are three different images. The focus trees, they could be very artful and used in different ways. So let's jump into it. An editorial style image. It's a great image. It's something that will enhance or support a story, a concept, or message in a publication, a website, or even a blog, an article. It's not quite something that you would think is super creative or something that you would want to have on your wall. So there's a purpose and a place for every image, right? As photographers, again, we're gravitating to all these different subjects and scenes and moments in time, but not every single shot is that money making or marketable image. So here's that other image. It was focused on that texture. Now, in this case, I think this image was cropped just a little bit to show this perspective. So that texture, it's a great idea, love it, but at the same point, it's not quite marketable as something that somebody would want to hang on the wall. So something like this would be a little bit more so of stock art photos. So these are photos that are technically well done, but at the same point don't hold that magic, right? That moment that somebody is going to want to gravitate to and jump into that scene. So in images like this, they could be used in advertising, websites, social media, brochures, and so on. It's going to be something that somebody can utilize to be able to enhance a product, their brand, and so on. But it doesn't, again, quite hold that magic. So now this third image. If I put those other images in this scene, it would not hold your attention the same way as this scene does, right? You're basically being pulled in. The leading lines in this image just pull you right up into that tree, into those branches. Now, I know as a photographer myself, I've never shot this kind of shot. I've kind of shot those other ones, but I know those aren't marketable. And to have the ability to see and understand the different types of images is going to help you in the long run, right? So some of those other moments, that one scene of the tree in the field, that's great. But at the same point, where's the magic, right? Where's that element that somebody is going to fully gravitate to and want to invest in? Now, again, these are just examples, just to give you a visual as to the differences as to how images could be used. So now, moving forward, what are some actionable tasks you do when reviewing your work, right? You go out into the field, you're photographing these magical moments, but which ones are going to be your marketable ones, right? Which ones are going to be the ones that will enhance your portfolio, that will entice the art buyers to make that purchase? So when you're reviewing your work, you're going to want to curate with the buyer in mind. It's not always about you, the artist, right? Like, well, your goals, it's all about your goals. If you're looking to sell the work, it's about your buyer's perspective. So ask yourself, would someone want to hang this on their wall? Buyers often look for art that enhances a space. Marketable images invoke emotion, calm, and beauty or connection. 2, group images into themes or series. I know we've spoke about this, Joanne, a few other videos ago. And the ability to tell a story, right? So you go out on this amazing experience, this trip, a location, whatever it is. And let's say you walk away with 3 images that you think are marketable or sellable as art. Group them into a series. Be able to share your story with your audience, right? Your 3Fs, family, friends, and fans, and be able to show them that work, right? The story is going to lead them in. And then from there, they're going to visually be able to see what you saw and hopefully gravitate to purchasing 1, 2, or 3, you never know, and enhance their walls, right? Maybe it's somebody who's been in the same location, the subject matter, and so on. So anyway, sort your best images into a consistent themes. Now, in your online portfolio, you can market and organize them in different categories and genres like we do in Photo Art Pavilion, but you can also create different ways to be able to share multiple images together. You just have to be creative, and it's all about your blogging. Now, 3, identify high engagement work. Review which images got the most attention. So this is kind of like having the public test your art. So I know I've done it myself. And let's say you have 2 images that are very similar, but technically a little bit different. And they, to you, have that same impression, that same feeling. Share it on social media. Share it with your 3Fs, family, friends, and fans. See which image the public gravitates to. You'd be surprised. I know I always have. And those images that are usually chosen, let's say, by the public, or at least have a little bit more higher traction, are going to be the images that you don't always gravitate to, which is really fascinating as far as that overall approach. And again, your audience will give you clues as to what resonates with them. So 4, check your visual consistency. Lay out your images side by side or evaluate color, palette, mood, and style. Again, when you're creating those series, you kind of want the lighting to be somewhat similar, to have the same kind of feel to them or magic behind them. And so that cohesion builds trust with your art buyers. They want to have that intentional and professional look and feel when they're shopping through your portfolio with your online store. Make sure you're putting your best work out there. 5, evaluate for technical and artistic quality. I mean, here at Photo Art Pavilion, we do review the work, so we get that extra guidance going on for all of our Photo Art Pavilion artists. But moving forward, task. So discard anything with soft focus, awkward crops, or weak lighting, even if you're emotionally attached. I know that's one of the hard things, right? So it's all about that feeling we have as artists. We create it, it's part of us, we put it out into the world, but it doesn't mean that everyone else is going to have that same reaction we do. So market ready images must meet high quality standards to command a price, right? You're selling art. What makes it so that somebody else is going to invest in your work? Now, 6, get a second opinion. Ask a mentor, gallery owner, or fellow artist for honest feedback on which pieces feel strongest. A fresh objective will help you understand and make that final selection. Again, you got to take that emotion out of it as the artist so that you can know that other people are able to connect. I know it's all about emotions, but yeah, at the same point, we need to step back. It's kind of interesting theory. All right, number 2, SEO, search engine optimization. You are all art photographers, but you're digital content creators, right? You're in this online world. So how do you make that work for you? How do you speak that right language to get the art buyers into your realm? So if your art is online, but nobody can find it, you're invisible. SEO makes sure your work gets discovered. So what is SEO and why it matters for artists? Search engine optimization, SEO, is the practice of making your content easier to find online. That's your images, your blogs, anything about you in your portfolio, your storefront, right? Whether it's your art, your portfolio, your store. When done right, SEO drives free traffic to Google, Pinterest, and even social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and so on. That's kind of interesting, right? So really you need to have the ability to speak the language of your art buyers, to be able to pull them into your world and to see the art that they're already thinking about or trying to gravitate to, right? If you're in Google land, anyone who is in there is already searching, what they want to have for their walls. How do you get in front of them? You need to think like them. You need to be able to have that language behind your art. SEO is your silent salesperson working 24/7 to attract buyers. Now, how many of you have actually looked into SEO and have you tried to help your work be seen? Not many of us, because we don't think that way, right? We're all about the art. Focus is on the art. But you need to expand the thought pattern to be able to get the goals, to be able to hit your goals. So how do you move forward? Well, start with keywords. Think like your buyer. Ask yourself, what would someone type into Google to find art like mine? What words describe my subject, mood, colors, or location? Now, examples. This is kind of fun. Minimalist, black and white landscape photography, right? If I'm looking for something very particular like that, I'm going to type that into Google and see what comes up. Same thing with coastal wall art for beach house, right? You have a beach house, you're looking for the right art for those walls. How do they come and see your work, right? If you have that kind of work in your portfolio. Abstract nature photography prints. These are very simple phrases, but at the same point, again, we don't think like that. And let's say for gift giving, gift for nature lovers, photography wall art. Very simple ideas, but we don't use them. But like, how do we use them, right? And where do we find them? So to find keywords, you can use autocomplete in Google. Very simply, start typing out in Google. So you have a black and white, that's a minimalist styling, type it out and see what other people have been searching for. Google is helping you. It's already going to give you ideas. And then once you type in that idea, so let's say coastal wall art, type that into your search in Google and scroll all the way down to the bottom. Google's going to give you other search phrases that people are using to find that work, those items. The other thing is look at tags, descriptions on top selling art on other websites by photographers that you're following, right? There's some big names out there. What are they saying about their art? What are they doing to be able to get seen? You could use free tools like Answer the Public or keywords everywhere to get ideas. But honestly, Google's like a huge powerhouse. Use it. Task. Make a list of 10 to 15 keywords that describe your top pieces and style. Right? If you have this in your arsenal and you already know those 10 to 15 words, it's going to make the rest of the work ahead a lot easier. 2, optimize your image titles and descriptions. Google cannot see your art. Let me repeat that. Google does not see your art, but what it does see is your titles and description. Now, just think about some of the things that you have in your portfolios right now that are very limiting, right? So instead of using untitled number 3, nobody is searching untitled number 3. I'm telling you right now. I know as much as artists, as us being artists and want people to create their own feelings and emotions for these titles, that's not helping you. I'm sorry. It's an online world. It's all about what people are typing in and searching for. So let's make things work for you, right? So instead, try using minimalist seascape and Great South Bay, Long Island, New York, right? So that's talking about the styling or the feel of the image, the location. I mean, granted, you can be as descriptive as you want. It's your title, and just do a little extension on your title to be able to help as far as that location and so on and style. So your description could include subject matter, location if relevant, the style, so abstract, moody, warm toned, and interior design appeal, perfect for modern coastal homes, right? So these are all words and elements that help enhance your searchability. Again, a title is a title. So actually, I have an example. Just wait. All right. So now task. Update the title and description of just 3 of your images to be a little bit more SEO friendly, right? So that's not too hard. Pick 3 of your top images. Review your title. What does it say about your work? Does it help with your searching? Look at your descriptions. What does it say about the work? Is it something that you're even bothering to read? But just think, the buyer itself is going to be reading that to get a little bit understanding as to what you experienced in that moment, right? It's all about storytelling at that point. But also, how do you implement those search keywords and phrases that can help Google connect your work to those people searching? Number 3, create SEO optimized content for your storefront and blog. Blogging helps SEO build its because it builds trust with search engines and offers fresh content. Isn't that interesting? Social media doesn't. No way. Blog posts last for years, while social media posts are just a matter of seconds, right? So we put all our time and energy into social media. It's great for connection and having that one-on-one human encounter. But Google and searching, somebody has an idea, they're searching. They're not going to go jump over to Facebook and be like, I wonder if I could find something, right? They're going to be inspired by, if they stumble upon your posts and so on, especially your 3 Fs, they're going to be inspired by your work. But how do you go beyond that network? It's going to be your search engines, right? And what people are putting in. So here's some fun ideas. So I know with Photo Art Pavilion, our artists do get our monthly marketing calendar, right? And we give you different hashtags that are working, different talking topics. Those talking topics are huge for your blog posts, for your email marketing. But now let's go back to talking topics. So some blog post ideas. Top 5 photography prints for coastal home decor. That's a great title right now. It's summertime, right? We all have some sort of element that can work with a coastal design setup, right? Somebody has a beautiful home, they want to enhance it. It's the summertime, they have guests coming. This is a time where people are transitioning. So create the blog post that talks about your coastal styling decor. Or 2, the story behind my popular minimalistic series or my popular black and white series, right? Talk about it, share that information, use as many keywords, key phrases, locations that you can to help describe the work and so on. How to frame and hang photography prints at home. I mean, that's a fun idea, but the goal is to have them look at your work, right? Try to think outside the box and try to help them see the work and get the ideas. I mean, you could have this blog post and just be like, don't worry about it. Have it already framed by me or here. You know, you got to add that fun element, be insightful, but then also be helpful. Now, these can definitely rank in Google, help drive traffic and deepen the emotional connection with the buyers, right? It's all about the story timing and elements and emotions. But again, blogging is huge. And I feel like a lot of photographers don't see that ability or don't see that. So I want to be able to help you get seen in search engines and so on. So task, draft one blog post or artist statement that includes 2 to 3 of your keywords naturally. Another tip with blogging, it's going to be a little bit, I don't know, I guess overwhelming, but usually a really good blog post has like 500 words to it. I know that sounds a lot, but if you just start typing, you never know where it goes. And you'll be able to add and add different thoughts and stories and stuff, right? Storytelling is a natural human element. We all gravitate to the stories. We want to hear what you experience. So try to be as detailed as you can. All right. You don't have to master SEO overnight, but even small steps can significantly boost your visibility. So think of setting up smart signposts across the internet to point people to your work. Start simple, use the right words, be searchable. Again, use Google. Google is a great tool. Consider the power of the compound effect. I know I've read so many different books that talk about compound effect. The principle shows how small, consistent actions, positive or negative, can build up over time to create meaningful and sometimes surprising results. But just remember, positive or negative. So what you focus on will work out, right? So if you're focusing on positive changes, you're going to see those positive changes in your business. What may seem like a minor daily chore, when repeated consistently, can lead to remarkable transformations. So if you start today, if you start this month, what kind of transformations do you think is going to happen by the time the holiday season comes, right? So this is to inspire you and to get you started in those creative flow. So I put the challenge to myself, right? So here's one of the images I took back in 2013. I called it the vine. I love this image. I don't know what it is. It's just very, very simple, but I love this image.
Just, your share screen is down.
My share screen is down. Still down?
It is.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing and jump back in. Hold on a second.
Sorry about that.
Sorry,
I
folks.
was letting you go until you said, here's my image.
Ah, so sorry. Can we see, do we see everything now?
There we go. There we go.
Whew. Okay, sorry, guys. Nothing like a live presentation to spice things up a little bit.
There you go.
Okay, so again, this was an image I took back in 2013. I didn't do good with titling. I didn't do good with my description, as you can see. Vine. What? Yeah, okay, great. But now what happens if I add a little spice or a little magic to this, right? And you can see the before to the after. So whispers from the vine, minimalistic sepia botanical art. That's pretty interesting, right? Now all of a sudden it has a little bit more intrigue. You click on that description. I have a bunch of key phrases in there, keywords, locations, talks about the styling of the tone with the soft sepia tones to it, timeless beauty. Like there's a lot in that little bit of paragraph that adds a little bit more spice, right? A little bit more searchability for that potential art buyer to come across this piece. Pretty interesting stuff, right? If you think about this. All right. 3, the nitty gritty. Now I feel bad that you guys didn't see all those other slides I made. Right? Moving on. All right, the nitty gritty. Online buyers can't see your work in person, so your listings must do the heavy lifting. That's right. Your social media posts, online gallery, blogs, and portfolio should all be working for you. But remember, you, only you, are the driving force behind making them truly effective, right? You are the artist. You have the most to win when putting your details into your work. All right, quick checklist for your listings or your artwork. Include mock-ups, art displayed on walls to help buyers visualize the piece potentially in their own space. Write compelling descriptions that tell the story behind the image and spark emotion. And task, fun task. Choose one artwork listing or one of your pieces. Write or revise the description with a focus on emotion, clarity, and professional polish to attract and connect with that art buyer. Add your SEO in there, some key phrases. Again, use Google. Search in Google whatever the art is, and see what other people are utilizing. All right, number 2 or 3, whatever we're at with the nitty gritty. Email marketing. Collect emails from your 3 F's. So it's going to be family, friends, and fans. This is anyone that you come across in person, face to face, daily life. You never know who you meet with and who might be a potential interest. And social media, of course. Give your people a way to connect with you through email. Why? Because a list of 50 engaged art lovers in your email list is going to outperform 5,000 random Instagram followers any day. Isn't that interesting? So those people that are getting your emails are going to be a lot more enticed and intrigued and already kind of gravitated to you as the artist. So show those people that love, right? Why? Because email is direct, personal, and powerful. Social media algorithms constantly change, but your email list is yours. These are people who've shown genuine interest in your work. Treat them like VIPs because they are. Send updates about your news, any new images that you release. Anytime you're doing an exhibit, you can announce about that, even if it's an online virtual one. We do have an open call coming up. If you get into that, share that with your VIPs. Have them join in the actual reception. Have them be a part of the art. And any kind of behind the scenes story. We all have stories. Share them. The good, the bad, I don't know. It's all fun, right? Offer exclusive previews or early access to new collections. Joanne, we've gone over this before, had a whole separate J&J about this. Make your emails feel like a conversation, not a sales pitch, right? It's a one-sided conversation that you are guiding. It's just like when you read a book. It's a one-sided conversation. You're just listening in. Start small, stay consistent, and build trust. Your list does not need to be big. It just needs to be engaged. All right, branding your storefront. I'm trying to be fast. I know we're running out of time. All right, your storefront is more than just a gallery. It's your digital first impression. Make it count. Use your professional headshot that reflects your personality, your creativity across your platforms. Your face is your brand, right? So make sure you have a good headshot. Now, with the cell phones this day and age, I mean, if you don't want to get behind your big DSLR, get behind your cell phone. Take some shots. Have a family member help you out. It's not that hard, I promise. It's just weird and feels awkward. I get it. Now, write a compelling artist bio that shares your journey, passion, and what inspires you as an art photographer. Strong, cohesive branding builds trust, captures attention, and invites buyers to explore, right? You want them to get in and explore your work. You never know what they're going to stop at and truly love and invest in. And you want them to be able to connect with you and the art. All right. Buyers don't just want to hang a photo. They want to feel something. Share the story of the moment you took that photo, right? That split second of time A lot could have been going on in that world, in that moment. Share your experience. Write that blog post, details, SEO, sprinkle it all over. Okay. Show up online consistently, professionally, and strategically. Posting once a month with no call to action. That's not marketing, that's wishful thinking. It is. I'm sorry. The goal is to create a simple content 3 to 4 times a week. I know that sounds stressful. You don't want to go on 3 to 4 times a week to be able to set these posts up. But what you can do is devote maybe an hour's worth of time on like a Monday or a Sunday and pick 3 to 4 of your images you want to share. Create those posts, schedule them ahead, right? So all the social media platforms at this point allow you to schedule ahead. It just takes a few minutes of thinking forward to be able to share and stay consistent. Share your story, show your work, and tell people how to buy it. If you don't talk about your art, no one else will, right? You are the artist. You hold that passion. Share it with the world. All right, big thing. You don't have to feel 100% ready. You just have to start. Don't overthink it. I know I do that all the time. Don't overthink it. Just pick one of these to-dos that I've gone over today and move forward. You've got this. I know you do. All right. I have a little fun interactive challenge. So pick one image from your portfolio, update the title, the description, the story, the keywords in it. Post it to your favorite platform once it's updated on your store. Update your, add it to your favorite social media platforms that you work with, and tag Photo Art Pavilion. I want to see what you're doing. I want to be able to be your cheerleader. I want to be able to comment on your work, tag us, and we'll be able to see what you're doing. I'm kind of excited about this. I want to see what you guys are up to. All right. I went through a lot of things today, and I hope that some of this inspires you to get a little bit more creative with your words and be able to really hone in on your SEO and enhancing your work so that the internet, right? Anyone on the internet can see you. So Joanne, I don't know if you want to jump in at this point,
I will.
but that was a lot, right?
It was a lot, but I think at the very beginning, you nailed a couple of things that I feel are often overlooked.
Okay.
First of all, choosing marketable images. I feel like artists tend to take anything that they take out of their camera, maybe play around with some software for a little bit, and then plop it up online. And they think that because of that, that they put an element of creativity into it, that is a marketable image. But the way you laid out the 3 images of the trees, I thought really answered that. There's a lot of photography that is not marketable, that is not something that people want to hang on their walls. And Jessica and I, struggle with this on a daily basis with our curation process with Photo Art Pavilion. We try to be very gentle and very delicate with our declinations of images that some of our artists upload to the site. We're not looking to step on anybody's creativity, but at the same time, you have to be thinking about marketable. When someone comes to A, Photo Art Pavilion, B, directly to your storefront on Photo Art Pavilion, what are they seeing? Are they seeing a mishmash, or are they seeing something thoughtful, a thought out portfolio that is easy for them to navigate through? And I actually have for our members only, our marketing newsletter going out. I think it's going to be tomorrow or Friday. Within that, it talks about go into your portfolio, clear it out, clean it out, get rid of the stuff that's redundant, that's not marketable. If you have an image of a building and it's the same image, but one's in color, one's in black and white, one's in sepia, you're the artist. You should make a decision of which of those 3 is the strongest, and that's the one that you leave up on your portfolio. The other 2, put them on the side for the time being. Leave the stronger stuff up for folks to take a look at and for the folks to shop around with. The rest of it should kind of be left on the side until you can improve upon what it is that you're doing with your portfolio. So I found that whole marketable element was really very important, especially knowing that our responsibility as curators of the platform. The other thing you touched on was the SEO. SEO is not something that artists really think about. They think about hashtags. That's not really SEO. Getting those what I love about SEO is it's organic. It's you could pay for marketing to have your images visible, but you could also have organic reach, which is what this search engine optimization will do for you. It gives you that organic element of someone typing into Google or any other search engine something very specific and your work being returned by that search engine as something relatable to those keywords. So I think that that's a big one. And again, you showing, I'm glad I stopped you and you put that image up where you showed the one called Vine and then detailed titling and detailed paragraph of information of description makes all the difference in the world. Makes all the difference in the world.
It does. It's huge.
So, having those keywords, laying it out there, using Google, saying, very important. Like you can go to Google and type in, I'm just gonna, because I live here on Long Island, so Fire Island fine art photography, you could type that in and then you can look and see what other keywords does Google automatically post up there. You could grab those and copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So you're expanding upon what you already have. You put a lot of work and a lot of energy into creating your art. Be specific in what you're offering online in your portfolio. And remember this one other thing, I know that I'm going to be quiet. What you put online is so different than what you put in a physical gallery. It's night and day. It's night and day. Something that is in a physical gallery 9 times out of 10 is matted, it's signed, it's framed, it's limited edition, it's something a little bit more and the visual is the consumer can touch and feel it. When you're putting up digital art in an online gallery like Photo Art Pavilion, it really has to be precise, it has to be perfect. There's no flaws allowed, truthfully. Like you can get away with some flaws in something that's already printed, matted, framed. You can get away with some flaws. You're not going to get away with a lot of that in a digital format. So those are my
too.
sense.
If you have work in a gallery, that's an experience, right? The person is physically moving their body through the gallery. They see the work. Where online, I mean, our attention spans are shrinking quickly. So make sure your best work is in your storefront.
Right. And on the online gallery, we have the magnifying tool. So the consumer can put the tool right over your digital art and go in and take a peek. And if they see something that's out of line, that's a blemish in the digital file, they're not making a purchase. They're just not going to. It might look good in a smaller file that you put in, like a faux frame in a faux living room. It might look good like that. But if you take that image and you blow it up to 100%, which is what we look at as curators, we're seeing those blemishes and we unfortunately have to alert you to that. And again, without malice, we're just trying to be helpful. So I thought it was a great presentation, Jessica. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great day.
All right. Have a good afternoon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.